Daniel, what if I was to tell you that tomorrow we play a game in which Georgia once again assembles all the talent that is in all college football on one field, and then we decimated another school who tried to compete with us, and we were going to tell you what we're excited, nervous, and not to sleep on. Daniel, how would you like that?
It's the Florida game tomorrow?
No.
Oh, no.
I said assembled the most talent and not the least amount of talent on one field. Kent State has some talent left. We'll be talking about what we're nervous, excited, and not to sleep on right after this.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? I am Daniel. He is Clint. This is the Locked On Bulldogs podcast, part of Locked On Atlanta, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Happy to be with you today and happy to be here on a Friday. It's almost game day.
Come on,
Clint,
man.
It's another early game tomorrow, which I know people don't like, people don't care for.
Whatever, I'm fine with it.
You got to look at the positives here. You get this game. You're at Sanford Stadium.
Sure.
You got the rest of the day. You head to a sports bar. You watch some other college football games. You go to a nice dinner. Everything's good.
Wow.
You're at home. There's no real competition on the TV.
Daniel,
save all the bigger games.
Is somebody listening to this and should be taking notes? Is that what's happening right now?
I'm just saying, you got to take advantage of the situation that you're presented in life.
You do.
And the Kent State game is a big nooner, and so you're going to have to go and you're going to have to play that game, whether you have a yacht or whether you do not. These are the rules.
I'm not getting on a yacht with you.
Okay, let's start, Clint, as we do every Friday, by saying there's no reason Georgia should be nervous about losing this game.
No.
Okay, we're the best team in college football, and they are Kent State. Is there anything – so we're going to get nuanced here because we're not going to talk about injuries on this podcast either. So don't wait for us to talk about that, okay? Is there any nuanced area of the game that maybe won't affect the overall outcome of the game? But is there any area of the game, anything at all, whether big or small, that Georgia fans might be even the slightest bit nervous about going into tomorrow's game?
Here's the one thing that I think you become nervous about. Offensive side of the ball, you're not nervous about anything. We showed against SEC competition that we can be down our number one wide receiver. Yeah, we can have injuries happen at the wide receiver core, and we could still win games against SEC opponents. But I digress. That's not a concern to me. Stet's not a concern to me. Our running game is not a concern to me. I have seen enough to say I'm confident in this running game. Dejon Edwards, Branson Robinson, which y'all think Malachi Starks, my love of him, just wait till next year. Branson is just going to, it's on the defensive side that you're a little nervous, and here's where I'm continually nervous, Daniel. I've seen a couple weeks in a row of boneheaded plays from inside linebackers. Stupid boneheaded plays. Going under blocks, not fighting over the top, missed assignments, misdirections, floating, not being at the point of attack. I've seen exceptional plays as well. So don't hear me, Georgia fan, and say it's all bad. No, there's incredible ceiling of these three cats. Again, I was on this podcast just a little bit ago saying that those cats at inside linebacking core may wind up being better than the greatest two linebackers, inside linebackers UGA has ever seen.
Yes, you did say that.
I said that. So again, there's been boneheaded. I'm nervous that we're going to see more of that against lesser competition, and it's going to make my stomach churn. And it's going to make me think differently of SEC play going forward when much more complex, because a half a step delayed in a read right now against Kent State, you can overcome that with just pure athleticism.
Clint is going to hit refresh, and I'm going to let you know why that you shouldn't be nervous about that. Here's what the only thing, if there's anything you should be nervous about, you should be nervous about Georgia giving up explosive plays in the passing game, Clint. One or two explosive plays in the passing game, Georgia might give them up in this game. That kid, they got a kid, number 14, the receiver, he's got a lot of talent. Okay, had over 100 yards receiving against Washington. There is Clint's Kitchen Island. You could see that.
You saw it all. It's right there.
That kid is pretty decent. They got a back that's decent. They're not going to be able to run the ball at all. But if a young secondary, if Kamari Lassiter gets beat over the top, I think if somebody's out of position, you haven't really seen. You've seen some big plays. I mean, it's not like we haven't seen any big plays. South Carolina made a big play on us. Didn't go for a touchdown, but they made a big play on us. Then Malachi Starks had that interception. But this is a game where I think we both predicted Kent State scores 6 points. But I do think there's a legitimate chance that they get a touchdown in this game. And if they get a touchdown in this game, it's either going to be against the fifth-string defense in garbage time when they do their own death march, or it's going to be in a busted coverage big play.
Yeah,
that would be the thing to me that would make you nervous. I think the linebacker play is going to be fine in this game. I think the front seven is going to be fine in this game. I don't think Kent State up front is going to have anything to say about Georgia. If anything, it's a quick hitter and somebody falls down, misses a tackle, or misses an assignment. Which, again, we just haven't seen any missed. Think about how few missed tackles we've seen on this team, Clint. For the season, how good is Kirby Smart? I don't know. Go back and listen to Wednesday's episode if you're unclear about how good Kirby Smart is. He's very good. He's very good. He's got this team prepared, but that's the only thing to be nervous about. But enough about that. Let's talk to the people first about Underdog, and then second about what they should be excited about. Clint.
That's right. Underdog is fantastic. We're going to get to the excitement part, but this
I'm excited about Underdog.
No, we're equally excited about Underdog.
That's right.
Daniel? It's brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Look, it's easy to get started with Underdog Fantasy. You get to watch your favorite team play and play fantasy at the right exact time, which is Saturday, which is while football is in your ears, on your eyeballs, on your iPad in front of you. And guess what? Underdog Fantasy lets you go ahead and pick teams that you want to have each and every week. You get to look at different pick'em choices for your team each week. You get to identify who you want in that pick'em. You get to go to Underdog, and you get to have control over it, which is not what happens at most fantasy sites.
Correct.
One of the easiest fantasy games to play out there, and you could win cold hard cash in a single game. Sign up using the promo code LOCKEDON. That's one word, locked on. And Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. You get deposit $100. Guess what? You get $100 free. That's UnderdogFantasy.com. Find the Underdog Fantasy app in the App Store, Google Play Store. Underdog Fantasy promo code is locked on. Get in and on to the college football pick'em action today.
Clint, Thursday Night Football, Underdog, JT Daniels, West Virginia. Is he going to have more or less than 251.5 passing yards, Clint? Higher or lower than 251.5 for JT Daniels on Thursday night?
Does he have the same receivers he's had all year?
He got that one kid with the two names. I cannot remember his name right now, but
it's not looking good.
It's not looking. Maybe take that under.
Maybe
take that under. Okay.
Look, let's talk about what we are excited about, Daniel. And I can't look. I'm excited to see Brock Bowers and Big O and everybody else do their thing on offense. At this point, it's been this flip from last year's group. When I watched the defense, I just knew what I was going to get, and it was spectacular all the time.
It was real, and it was spectacular.
Oh.
It was.
Were you questioning the authenticity, the integrity of the structure of that defense, Daniel?
I'm just saying.
Did you need somebody to go in and let you know, maybe like a little spy on the inside to let you know they're real?
Listen, sometimes you gotta have somebody on the inside. Sometimes you gotta have somebody go in.
Somebody just really get their hands into.
You're saying that we have the Terry Hatcher of offenses. Is what you're saying.
We have Daniel. Yes.
All right.
This is what I'm saying. It's the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This defense, though, Daniel, I'm excited to see the progress and growth continue because I've said it on this podcast week after week. As they continue to learn the system, as they continue to get down, as they continue to get reps in game, it's going to be more and more exciting. And Daniel, this defensive line, can I just remind you again? We lost Jordan Davis, Devontae Wyatt, and Trayvon Walker, the best defensive line assembly ever, and we haven't missed a beat.
No, we're not better on the defensive line.
I didn't say that.
But we haven't missed a beat.
We haven't missed a beat. That should thrill you, Georgia fans, because again, the bottom basement of this defense was 3 weeks ago, and then 2 weeks ago, and then and then all we're doing is growing up and up and up before our eyes. Daniel, I love every moment of seeing these young pups eat, and I'm excited to see it again.
I might be verging into don't sleep on territory, but it doesn't matter because it's what I'm genuinely excited about this game. Give me Dylan Bell, give me Denylon Morissette, give me Branson Robinson. Those are the three freshmen on offense that I want to see really get a lather going in this game. I think that those two receivers, at least one of those two receivers we're going to need this year to be good.
His name's Dylan Bell, by the way.
We need to see him get more reps. There's a reason that Malachi Starks was on the field in the fourth quarter when Georgia was up by 250 points against South Carolina.
Get those reps, young buck.
Kirby just wants him to play football. This is what I want to see about Dylan Bell in this game, okay? I want to see him play all the snaps. Ladd McConkey, go out. Stretch your legs. Get a couple. Why don't you come on back to the bench, okay? Get some Powerade in the system, okay? I don't need to see much of that. We already know. I'm not even including Oscar Delp because I feel like he's the freshman that we've seen. We know who that cat is, okay?
Yeah.
And next year it's going to be the Brock Bowers and Oscar Delp show, and I'll buy a ticket. I'm here for it. I'm here for that. Yeah. So I'm excited about those three freshmen on offense. I'd like to see Branson Robinson get a nice chunk of carries in this game. Strikes me as the kind of cat that's going to get stronger as the game goes on.
Daniel, I was just, we're going to jump into Don't Sleep On, but first this. Daniel, let me start by Don't Sleep On because you segued it perfectly. Talking about Branson Robinson and the young man that does, in fact, look like he is Nick Chubb-esque, where he gets a lather going and he just gets stronger by the fourth quarter. So let me say this. Do not sleep on Branson Robinson leading this team in rushing yards and rushing touchdowns when all is said and done because we saw something last week.
Just this week. You're not talking about for the season.
No, just this week.
I just needed to ward off the commenters.
Daniel, you said it, but guess what's going to happen anyway?
They're still going to leave the comment.
They're still going to leave the comment. I mean, this week against Kent State, don't sleep on Branson Robinson leading this team in rushing yards and rushing touchdowns because we saw something last week, Daniel. We all saw it, and it was exceptional. And I think everybody else on the offensive saw it as well. And I think we're going to need somebody like that. Kendall still hasn't shown me to be that guy. He's adequate and good. Again, don't hear me downplaying him. But Branson got something special to him, and everybody saw eyes on it. So don't sleep on that being the case.
Don't sleep on a punt return for a touchdown.
There it is.
And also, I think this is the week that Kirby probably I think don't sleep on Brock Vandelay of Vandelay Industries playing the entire fourth quarter. I think Stet's going to play one series in the third. I think he's going to play the first series in the second half. I think Carson Beck's going to play the entire rest of the third quarter. And then I think Brock Vandelay is going to come in and get some extended run in this offense. So that would be my don't sleep on. I think this is the game which is why I don't hate your under. And it's why I bet the first half over yesterday, if you go back and listen to the podcast. Because I think we're getting ready for the SEC run here.
Yes,
the big stretch run. The big run. And Kirby knows this. And so don't sleep on, this is just the bigger picture way of saying what I just said. Don't sleep on Kirby dialing it back as this game progresses and you seeing a lot quicker trigger to go to the bench in this
Two
game.
things are going to happen. A lot of quick hit notes. AD Mitchell not playing in this game. Okay?
No.
So,
please don't play in this game, AD Mitchell.
Jalen Carter, please don't play in this game.
Please don't play in this game.
So there's a couple quick hit notes there for you. And if you don't understand, because we're going to hear you on Twitter, we're going to hear in the comments, you're going to talk about this, how we need to
if we just throw the ball in the fourth quarter, Stet's never going to win the Heisman now because aren't you the same guy that said that Stetson Bennett was not fit to be on the roster last year, and now you're complaining because he's not going to win the Heisman?
He's not throwing it enough?
Chill.
Just too few attempts?
Chill out, guy. We're trying to win the national championship.
Here's the second thing that's going to happen, Daniel. We're going to talk about, man, this offense just looks so sluggish in the fourth quarter because they couldn't execute and drive down the field.
Sluggish.
You know what Kirby got on the horn and said to Todd Monken? Hey, Todd.
Running clock.
Hey, Todd, go to page 1 and don't go off page 1. There's your parameters. Get us home. That's what's going to happen.
Yep.
And you should be excited for it because it's going to produce a lot of good things for this team in the long run. Not enough film is good, and it's going to get guys doing fundamental reps because at the end of the day, Branson Robinson still want to go through a hole and blast some linebacker, Daniel. And he's going to have to do that regardless if the run play is complex or simple and straight up off tackle. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
So those are a couple quick hit notes. Anything else that these people should not sleep?
No, I mean, look, enjoy the game.
Please.
Enjoy this. This is your last breath here. Ooh. And now we jump in. Okay?
So for the record, my nauseousness of Kentucky has not ceased. Just so
when you see me on Saturday night, I will be in a full lather about something. The Overreaction Pod is coming out on Saturday night.
Yes.
Please do not expect anything different. We will have extremely strong opinions about something that happened in the Kent State game, and we will be back here to talk to you about it then on the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. Thanks, and we'll see you then.
See ya.